I want to thank you so much for being all who you are at Hay House, Reed and Kelly, the time that you guys have invested, and all of these budding authors. It is just absolutely amazing. I know that you earn money too, but the time that you invested in developing us is very appreciated. So here's my thing. I believe the problem in the world is that it's fear-based. I think if we could remove that, then the world would be a much better place. We would have compassion for each other. We would be able to speak what we want to say rather than fearing what somebody's going to think about it. Our intuition would open up and we would find better solutions to our problems. And we would see that we are a part of something bigger than us. And as long as we're fear-based, those aren't going to happen. And I'm getting this information from the study of the chakras. I studied them from all kinds of different people, that brilliant people that write books about these amazing little energy centers in our bodies. Cindy Dale discusses the stages of life that up to 6 months we're developing our root chakra, and from 6 months to 2.5 we're developing our sacral chakra, and from 2.5 to 4.5 we're developing our personal power. But we don't have to move beyond that to be a billionaire or whatever and to be completely successful by society's standards. However, I think there's a shift going on, and I think that it's becoming more of a requirement to have compassion. But if we're living in fear, compassion isn't going to open up. So my book is about how to go through each one of these stages and develop all of the centers so we can open up that heart, so we can speak authentically, and that we can tap that intuition, and that we have our imagination wide open to solve problems, and we all come together. So I created this book in a more of a methodical way, not so much woo-woo. And that was intentional too, because I want to reach mainstream people. I want people to be able to take this book and say, all right, I'm a basketball coach. We need to go through these stages so we can gel as a team. Or I own a company, or we're making some changes, and so I need to make sure everyone's on board. So we're going to go through each one of those steps. Or I'm a person who was terribly abused as a child, and I want to fix that. And they can use this format to fix that and to become whole, become all of who they are, and they can be all they can be. This is a format that can be applied to any situation, from an individual to the world at large, anything in between. My intention is to help individuals grow so their families get stronger, and then their workplace gets stronger, or their team gets stronger, or their organization, their volunteer organization gets stronger, and then the community gets stronger, and then the region gets stronger, and it onward until we do make the world a better place. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what my book's about. I use a different format for learning with this book, tapping my degree in psychology, the cognitive therapy triangle of change, where we have thoughts and actions and feelings. And I learned it in a way that you change any one of those and the rest will follow. However, if you change one and fizzle, nothing's going to happen. So you need momentum. The knowledge that's provided in this book will fuel that momentum so people they can keep going with it. I also help people find out. A lot of people don't know what's wrong. They just aren't happy and they don't know why. So I go through each one of those thoughts, that triangle of change for each center, so they can specifically nail down where that is, where the problem is. And then we have exercises in the book to address it. So my intention is to speak to the mainstream, give them a simple format that they can apply to themselves, they can apply to their family, or anything else they're involved in. I'm so excited again to be able to put this out here, and I I suppose I should tell you why I know this, because I grew up in my father was extremely angry. I married accordingly, very angry man. Of course, I didn't recognize that at the time, but it escalated. And his mother was the most manipulative woman I've ever met in my life. I became Catholic because I felt it was the only thing strong enough to combat her evilness, and I'm not kidding. Um, so she ended up she tortured us. It was just terrible. She'd pull guns. We lived in a nice neighborhood. It was unbelievable. And here I was just experiencing all this, and I was just in a state of shock. After she left, my husband took over where she left off, and he became unbelievable. He ended up shooting himself while we were pulling in the driveway. He definitely did it intentionally. He had the whole garage dressed up like a funeral. Yeah. And then he continued to torture us emotionally for the next, I don't know how many years. I refer to my marriage as 25 years our time. But here's the thing. I learned these modalities, all this holistic, wonderful treasure, and I fixed it. We got divorced, but I fixed it. In fact, he called me earlier and interrupted this video, but we're good friends now. And all of our kids, two of them got addicted to heroin. And I used the same modalities to help them come out of that. I used it to repair the tremendous damage that was done in relationships. It is absolutely amazing the transformation that my family has experienced as a result of following through on this. So I've been spending the last 10 years teaching this, practicing it, and now I'm writing about it. I will submit this tonight at midnight. I'm so excited. Namaste, my friend.